rich, snobby girls I play, who is the richest and snobbiest, Ai Sutone from Shin-Chan is by far the snottiest and richest of them all, I think. Um, Anybody who has their own, like, security guard, butler, slash manservant, like Mr. K. And then her little gilded car seat, like when she would be in the car, and she has like this gold car seat. Mr. K, thank you, Mr. K. Yeah, and she, just the horrible things she would say. And on Shin-Chan, I wish you guys, like, on every line that we have what are called alternates. So it's just different options. And like the first one would be bad. The second one would be worse. And then the third one would be like, oh my God, I can't believe you want me to say that. And we'd always do it, and we would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, but we never knew what ended up on the last disc. But some of the things I said as I said, and it's funny too, because now with my agency, they asked for some clips of the anime, and they picked I as one of the clips to use, and it just happens to be this episode where she's trying to get Mr. K to do something for her, and she threatens to tie him up by a particular area of his anatomy, and until it turns purple and falls off like rotted raisins, and that's on my agency website. So when people go to hire me for commercial gigs, they hear that. I'm like, out of all the clips of I in the world, that's the one you have to pick. Okay, thanks, guys.
Have you ever had a role where you felt seriously miscast, and how did you get through it?
Ooh. I don't think so. I tend to, I mean, even like most characters that other people hate, where they're just like, oh, I can't believe you had to play that character. I'm like, I love them. Because it's like, it's my deal that you have to find something that you love about every character. I will say that I have played, oh, so many little girls, that it's getting hard now to like, to differentiate between them. Because I really try to make, there's only so much I can do. It's your voice. And I try to make it as different as I can. But once you play that many little girls, it's like it's hard to make each and every one of them sound different. So more times than not, it's that I wish they'd kind of go outside the box a little bit more. Like, put me outside the box. Don't cast me as a little girl all the time. Which I've gotten better about lately, which is good. I don't think I've ever been missed. I hope not. If not, I made the best of it. Greg Ayres and I challenged a band called Dual Jewel, a visual K band, to a tequila drinking contest. And then they did the show, and we made fun of them all weekend. That was fun. We also told them that hot dogs aren't really hot dogs, they're cow tubes. So every time they would walk into the green room, they would ask for cow tubes. And we would sit there and snicker, and the lady's like, what's a cow tube? They were nice guys. Gosh, there's so many different things. Like, we've done all kinds of crazy stuff. There's, walking the streets of Seattle at 3 o'clock in the morning with people, or, a lot of them have to do with drinking. We're really not drunkards, I swear. There was the year that we announced Tsubasa at New York Comic Con. Jason Liebert and Chris Sabat and I decided that we were going to have a who can find the nastiest shot contest. Why anybody thought that was a good idea, I don't know. So we proceeded to do that, and I remember I was sharing a room with Clarion Harp, and she didn't get in until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I heard her knocking on the door, and I woke up in the bathtub, fully clothed. And I was like, never going out with Chris Sabat and Jason Liebert again, ever. So there's lots of craziness. We do silly stuff. Most of it, it's just fun to kind of get to hang out with people that we don't get to hang out with, especially with like the LA guys and stuff. We don't get to see them as often. So it's fun to get to, be locked in a hotel together for the weekend and see what kind of craziness ensues. That's always fun. Oh, there was one convention. There was one convention where we got really bored because it was like, there's somewhere in Ira, and everything shut down on Friday night and didn't open again until Monday. Bless you. We got really bored, and so it was around Christmas time, so we had this fake tree, and ADV had given me a whole bunch of stuff to pass out, so we made an anime Christmas tree. And then that was so much fun, we decided to completely move all the furniture around in my hotel room. And then for some reason that went into, let's have a food fight. And then from there it turned into, let's rip pages out of magazines and write funny things on them and stick them under people's doors. Greg and I get in a lot of trouble. That was all fine and well until there was an older lady guest that was like an expert on Japanese culture or whatever. And so we jokingly took this like picture out of a magazine that had Usher like, shirtless, all sweaty. And jokingly we wrote on there, "I will rape you." And didn't think anything of it. We're just like, oh, we didn't know whose thing it was. She's like, "I woke up this morning with bad medicine." I was like, and Greg and I are kind of, when we get together, we're kind of like 5-year-olds. It's like, what kind of ridiculous trouble can we get ourselves into? It's probably why we don't get to go to conventions together as much. Everybody learned, don't let us together, we get in trouble. Oh, but good memory. He was awesome. I missed him. In fact, I woke up last night and I was like, where's my, my cat's not here. He's so good and cuddly. Unlike the real Michael Jackson. Or at least I don't know. Maybe he was a good cuddler. Oh, that's a whole different topic. Yes!
Was it hard doing the accent when you were Mayrin?
Oh, good question. Was it hard doing the accent for Mayrin? Actually, the Cockney accent was a lot easier for me. Coming from theater, that's one of the accents you kind of learn, especially for Shakespeare and stuff, like the proper British accent, the Queen's English kind of stuff, and Cockney isn't so hard. I've kind of taken many a class on that kind of stuff. There were times where I'd slip up, but Ian Sinclair, who was the director, is fabulous at accents, and so he was really good to point out, like, hey, you need a little more ba instead of word. Like, okay, great. The one that was hard was Belarus, because I didn't even know where Belarus was on the map. I was like, Bella, what? So I had to spend like 2 weeks before I went in to record, like listening to people from Belarus talk and doing research online, trying to figure out what that accent was. And okay, it's kind of like Russian, but not really. It's kind of like a French and Russian combined, and it was fun though, because I don't get to do that kind of homework much anymore. So it's kind of nice to have to go back and actually study something. It's cool. But yeah, Mary wasn't so hard. She was just fun. She was just ridiculous fun. Yes, all the way back there.
What is the hardest voice you've ever had to do?
The hardest voice I ever had to do. The hardest voice I've ever had to do is probably Lero in Degradement, just because it hurt. After a while, like he does that whole, there's an episode where he does a whole countdown. And it's like, 1 little, 2 little. And after a while, it's like, ow, little. So we take a break. Oh, we're almost done. That one, another one. There's quite a few. Oh, and there's a show called Papua, where I play a little dude named Papua. And it's kind of the same thing as that scratchy thing. Gotta play live, talk like this. That hurt after a while. Who else? Bulma hurt sometimes just because she won't stop yelling. She's so angry. She yells all the time. I was like, oh my gosh, stop yelling. That's it. I usually don't have a lot of problems with that kind of stuff. I have the weirdest voice ever. Except for maybe like, there's a few Spring Dasher and are weirder than I am, Hillary Hayes. But for some reason, knock on wood, my vocal cords can go, I put them through a lot, and they keep going, which is good. I'm hoping that they will continue for a very long time. So a lot of them don't usually hurt me, especially those really high-pitched ones. Like, I didn't make fun of it Funimation because most of the girls are like, that's what hurts me, is when I have to do the really, really high stuff. And I'm like, well, for me, that's cake. For me, it's usually the lower stuff or the gravelly stuff that's hard. But Lero definitely after a while. Thankfully, he didn't have to stay a whole lot, because if he had been like a main character, I might still have ripped it. Get all the